Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Panhandle City channel. This is Colson, going to be doing my first time lapse here since me and Addison decided we wanted to split up the work a little bit just so each of us had more time on our hands. Sorry this one's coming out so late, guys. Me and Addison have both been very busy this week. I'm getting ready to go for a private pilot check ride soon, so that's why I've been putting this off a little bit. But here we're kind of just starting a neighborhood. We're going to be trying to building a neighborhood, and so I'm just laying out the arterial road right across here from downtown to try and get set up for that. So you guys did vote for Granite Springs, so this video was actually recorded before that poll ended, so that's why we're doing this. We'll be moving on to Granite Springs on the next time lapse, which will probably be done by Addison. And so right here, I'm just starting to lay out the framework for the neighborhood, the little entrance road right here. And I did have a neighborhood in the old city that I built out from scratch. I did use a couple builds. I used like 5 or 6 different houses and kind of copy and pasted them throughout the neighborhood just to make it look unique. And so we kind of get to that here in a minute, you'll see. But really just laying out some of the road right now for the entrance. So here I'm like just trying to add a sign here, and the poll was giving me issues. There's like a little weird glitch where the block underneath shows underneath the sidewalk shows. And here I'm just building the median for the road. So this is kind of how we do our medians for our arterial divided 4-lane highways. We fill everything in, we get rid of the lines in the middle, and then we kind of just square off the median here. We make it a little bit wider than the actual road because it gives you more space if there were legitimately cars around here. So yeah. Here I'm gonna extend it out to the left and to the right in just a second, just adding some details here along the way. But you can see I'm just about to extend this to the left and to the right. And Addison was not on at this time. He was working on some homework or something, so I'm just kind of laying out a groundwork until he gets on because I needed him to go grab the schematics from the old city because for whatever reason we did not add the schematics into our file. And here I'm just getting a little lag. I think that might have been Addison getting on and pasting in our old city. Or no. This is just me trying to load the schematic and realizing it's not in there. And here you can see I kind of, since I couldn't find the schematic, I was like, oh, since Addison's not on yet, let me just make this into an apartment complex. And I decided to go against that just because it was too big of an area that the apartments took up, so I didn't want to send that because I just did not want to deal with how big those were. And I told Addison I was doing a neighborhood anyway, so I didn't want him to get on and be like, oh, why is this an apartment complex now? So yeah, as you can see, I'm just kind of testing out here to see if the apartments would somewhat fit, but they are actually massive, much larger than I remember, so this is probably going to go in a different area. We may actually put these in Granite City because it kind of has like a college apartment feel. It definitely looks like some of the apartments that I have walked past. It actually kind of looks like the apartment I live in now, I'm not going to even lie to you. It looks very similar. So yeah, I was just kind of testing it out to see if I could fit 2 or 3, but ultimately I decided they were way too large, and I was just gonna wait to get the actual houses. So here Addison pastes in the entirety of the old neighborhood, and you can see it's kind of janky because of different mods and mod compatibility as well. So it's a little bit, it messed it up a little bit, but all I needed was the houses. So basically Addison's gonna replace all these like what are called artifacts, which is when the game doesn't recognize like what the So when the game doesn't recognize what a block is, basically when there's a modded block, see, these are all the white fences that are part of a mod pack, and so when it does that, it just puts a random item in there. So yeah, so as you can see, Addison just changed that to all of the white fences. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and I'm going to copy all of each different house type and just save that as a schematic. So here, just doing a simple copy process, trying to get as much as possible and leave out all the extra stuff. And so I'm just going to paste it over here and clean it up, basically. So you can see I'm like cleaning up all the blocks I use as reference points and like random straggling leaves and all that. So after I do that, I just save it as schematic, and I'm going to repeat the process here in just a second. So yeah, this is not where the neighborhood's going to be. It's going to be where I'm laying it out right now. We just had to paste this somewhere where it would not interfere with any of our other stuff. And yeah, this is our first kind of area outside of downtown, which I'm super excited for, because we've got downtown mostly complete, if not all the way complete at this point. Maybe just a couple details with the subway we're going to work on. But I think the next time lapse is definitely going to be a Granite City time lapse. So Granite Springs, sorry. So I'm super excited for that, for sure. So I'm just continuing the process of loading schematics in here, and it's a little bit boring, but it has to be done. And I think it's important. I think it's kind of still cool to show you guys how we're kind of doing this, because obviously we're not going to build these, because why take the time and build all these new houses when we have some old ones that still look good that we can bring into the city. So that's what we ultimately decided to do, rather than waste more time, because I mean, this process already did take a while. This process took us about 20-30 minutes to fully do here. As you can see, yeah, it's definitely a big neighborhood. We're not going to do our neighborhood quite that big, but it will still be pretty large. It's going to ultimately end up going from like the main arterial right here that we just started building to kind of close to where the interstate exits are, between the I-20 and I-75 exits over here. So there we go, saving the last one, and we're going to go back over to the arterial. And when Addison does delete this, it's gonna lag, so if you guys do see any lag on the screen, that's the reason why. I tried to cut most of it out, but there may be some in there still. Yeah, so here we're gonna have an exit off the interstate that goes to the arterial, and so we're kind of just deciding how long of a ramp we're gonna need and make sure it's not conflicting with our interstate ramp. So there I'm just kind of checking how we did our interstate ramp, because it's going to be very similar, just not turning as much. And there you can see I'm lagging quite a bit from him deleting that. It's breaking our games very hard, just because it's such a large copy paste and delete. So here I think we decide that we're going to move the arterial because it's too close to the bridge to where we can make ramps that work. We didn't have enough room to like bring the ramp down we didn't have enough room to bring the ramp down without messing with the bridge at all. So we decided we're going to move this arterial like one group of pilings to the right. So you'll see it here. He pastes that in, and you can see it's way too far. So I'm just copying and moving this arterial. Kind of see me counting it out, so I know it's somewhat in the middle. And so yeah, I'm just fixing the entrance to the neighborhood because we moved it over, so now it's a little bit wonky. Just trying to clean this up, get rid of the trees. This is why you don't do details right away, because you could mess something up, and if you mess it up, it's just going to take longer to fix it. So you want to leave it as bare bones as possible until you really have fleshed out what you want to do. And so there you see we get the ramp working. along with our new signs. I recently went through and did a lot of those signs. I think they look really good. Those are from the traffic control mod, and those signs look really good. I've just spent a couple hours the other day going through our city and applying them where necessary. And you can kind of see me here. I get a little distracted again, and I start adding in a sign. So this billboard sign is basically going to denote that this exit is coming up for this arterial, and I don't think we have named it yet, so maybe we'll do a little poll for the name. I don't know. We'll decide. It's definitely going to have a road number that me and Addison will decide, but we may leave it up to you guys to name this arterial if you want. Maybe we'll do a community post about it later. But that might be a fun thing to do to get you guys more involved with the city. So here I'm still kind of just fixing the entrance to the neighborhood, just moving everything over to this side once again. And I'm probably going to put trees back in here again. So now you can see the framework is kind of starting to get laid out for this neighborhood. Now we've got all this. I'm probably going to start pasting in houses. So here I'm just checking which direction it's pasted in so I can rotate it the correct way. And it gets very, very easy as far as building once we start pasting these in, because as you'll see, we decide to just flip it the other direction and paste our houses directly behind one another. But it doesn't look so samey because of the way the rotate works. So basically the first house is going to be on the other end, instead, like the right side instead of the left side. So you don't have two exact same houses directly behind each other. So here I'm deciding how we want to do this neighborhood. And so right here is when I kind of decide to just go along this front street first. And it just takes a couple times to copy and paste because you're kind of just figuring out where the paste orientation is going to be. So you kind of see we have a rough estimate of how we want to do this. Once again, still just taking those schematics I got earlier from the old neighborhood, loading those schematics, pasting them away from all our other blocks so they don't destroy them, and checking what orientation they're in so we can paste them correctly. And then I think right about here is where I realize I overwrote one of the schematics, and so I only copied 4 of the houses. So here's where I send Addison to go back to the old city and copy the 5th one because I don't know how to count. So you can see right there, I'm just trying to figure out what to do. I say, okay, can you go get this real quick? And so that's what he's doing right now. So basically I just fly around for a little bit trying to wait for him. So here we finally have everything good. This is where I decide I'm going to copy and flip while he's going to get the last schematic. So I go ahead and copy this, and you're going to see I'm going to rotate it and flip it on the other side. I'm kind of just going to count out how many blocks this is and do it the exact opposite from the other side so the back fences kind of touch each other. There you go, and see there's a couple fences that look weird. We're gonna fix that later in the video. It's just we're just getting everything bare bones right now, basically. And you can see me trying to fix it here, but I realize, okay, some of them are different, so I'll come back and do that later. So here we go. Addison finally got the 5th house, so I'm just gonna paste that on the final end, and once again flip and rotate it. Okay, there we go. So that house is pasted in. Now you're going to see me Just kind of surround it with some fences here, just to line it up with the other houses. The fences are very annoying. The hitboxes are super small, so you'll see me make a lot of errors here. And so yeah, all our houses kind of have trees in the back, so that's what I like to do with ours. So now I'm just gonna save the schematic again and rotate it. There we go, it's pasted on the other side. So now we have our full line of rows, and you can see Addison's kind of laying out our roads so that we can fit 2 rows of houses between each street, one facing each side. So it's super nice. This way we get the most out of our space, as well as it just looking better, and also getting as many houses in as possible. That way we can have better population with our city. So now we kind of completed this area. So that's super nice. We're just going to kind of clean everything up now. That includes the roads. Right about here, after we fix these roads, I'm going to tell Addison to kind of make a pool area for the community. And in a lot of communities, I think you see these recreational pool areas kind of provided, especially in HOA type neighborhoods, which I imagine this would be one of those. So here, this is where I start cleaning up the fences, because obviously the fences are kind of broken right now with the way we pasted everything. So here I go through and just make some miscellaneous tweaks to our neighborhood. And that's kind of where I'm telling Addison to build that pool area, just that space right there. And here I'm just kind of making everything match and kind of look uniform as much as possible, getting rid of random fences that shouldn't be there, and kind of just copying this to the whole other neighborhood. At first I thought about doing it all by hand, but that seemed like it would take a long time and just not work. So as you can see here, I kind of copy the whole neighborhood fence wise, and just get rid of that so I can start over and build it. I don't necessarily build it from scratch. I do one row of fences in the first row of neighborhoods, or first row of houses, and then kind of copy that to the rest of the rows and tweak it from there, because I figured that would be more efficient. Yeah, so while I'm tweaking these fences, I just want to talk a little bit about our future stuff. So right now, like I said at the beginning of the video, me and Addison are both very busy right now, so we're trying our best to keep up with the city. That may not always happen, but we're going to do our best to keep these videos coming out for you guys. Go and check out our YouTube short if you haven't already. Addison's been playing with a little bit of these YouTube shorts, and we want to get some opinions on them. So I think they're really good. A little bit shorter form videos. TikTok probably coming soon. So be looking out for that. We'll bring it up in a video whenever we have a chance. Also, as far as work in the city itself, like I said, we're going to be doing Granite Springs next. So we're going to be doing a lot of apartment areas. We're going to be building the university, which I'm really excited for. We've got some cool ideas for that. Also, we may be doing a break video from that, doing a stadium area towards downtown that may be used for the university and whatever professional sports team we decide is going to be there. As far as Granite Springs, Granite Springs, like I said, we're gonna have a lot more apartments because, you know, college students need places to live, and college students are not typically living in big houses. I haven't brought this up to Addison yet, but I do want to do some Greek houses at the university, because you do see a lot of Greek life in universities, and they have those really nice big modern houses. So I think that would be a really cool thing to do. And probably do a ski lodge too. Our mountains, we haven't really gone up there yet, so we gotta go up there and look at the scale. But I do really want to build a ski lodge up there. That's one of the things we really didn't like about our old city, is it was a super flat world, and a lot of MC Edit stuff didn't work with that. So we really wanted to be able to have different height terrains. So that's how we have our rivers now, and so I think it's created a lot of good opportunities, like the bridges. So it's definitely making it a lot better. So here I'm just kind of finishing up the fences, and we're gonna go over and check out Addison's pool here in a second. And after that, we'll be pretty much done with this neighborhood. As you can see, it's starting to look really, really good. Backed it all the way up to pretty much the interstate. So this is pretty much you just see Addison finishing up the parking lot for the pool here. And we pretty much have done everything we want to do with this neighborhood. This has brought up the population. This is technically going to be part of Panhandle Beach. So I believe we did we have the spreadsheet that has 3.1 people per household. And I believe we got 30 houses or something like that in this neighborhood. So I'm really excited about the amount we got here. And here I was just trying to figure out how the gates worked again for that specific fence. And we've pretty much finished everything here. So final thoughts, just really like what we've built here with this neighborhood. So looking forward to doing some more neighborhoods and getting on with Granite Springs. So anyways, hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for continuing to watch Panhandle City, and I'd really appreciate the feedback on my end, because this is the first video I've done. So next video, you'll be hearing from Addison again. Thank you guys for watching, and have a good one. Peace.